Hello everybody, welcome to Rick and Dave's Comic Book Hour. I'm Rick.
I'm Dave.
And he's behind the camera again.
And I'm Jeff Harper.
Of Jeff Harper's Productions. Yes, he is. Well, I was going to get there.
All right.
This is Jeff Harper of Jeff Harper Productions, who runs several shows here in Ohio. The next show coming up is in Akron, Canton on June 25th, right?
Yep, absolutely.
And that's a big show for you?
Yeah, that's the biggest one that I've got. We've been doing it for 26 years. It's not as, I will be honest, it's not as big as it was 26 years ago. You know, I went with a 2-day show for a number of years, and then I've scaled it back to a 1-day show just because of trying to make it more affordable for everybody. You know, there's too many, to me in my opinion, there's too many shows today that charge an exorbitant amount for people that aren't comic related, and so I try to keep it comic book
Exactly.
for comic books. And then I quit inviting, you know, big expensive guests in from out of town to artists and creators, and try to get just local Ohio talent, people in Ohio that want to come and set up, and they don't have to pay anything. I give them the space for free, as long as, you know, they're there promoting their book and what they do and everything. So
yes. And do you think that some of the decrease might be because there's so many shows now in Ohio? I mean, it seems like there's like 6 or 7 in Ohio alone.
yeah, there's, in my opinion, you know, there's too many. Of course, all the promoters will say that they're the best and everything, but, and again, my opinion is I think we're going to get to a tipping point here very soon. Not only in Ohio, but if you look at all across the country, there's just too many shows everywhere, and there's nothing special about any of them anymore, you know. And then a lot of them are cosplay shows and not really comic book shows.
Welcome to Ricky and Dave's Comic Book Hour.
Hi, I'm Jessica. We're at the Akron Comic Con at the Rick and Dave's Comic Book Hour.
Hello, I'm Solar Flare, and welcome to Rick and Dave's Comic Book Hour.
Hi, and welcome to the Rick and Dave's Comic Book Hour.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with cosplay. There's nothing wrong with it, but sometimes the cosplayers take over. I've seen it. I set up at a show here a couple of years ago. The cosplayers literally took over the show, and the promoter lost control, and it wasn't. And they don't spend much money, to be honest with you, for the dealers, from the vendor's point of view.
Right. They're just there to be the cosplayers.
It's a place,
be in the contest, maybe, if there is one that weekend.
Right. A lot of it is to be seen and hang out, and that's what they're there for.
And tweet.
Exactly. So,
Or
I mean,
Tumblr.
and I don't want to sound like, you know, I'm anti-cosplayers, because I think some of it is cool and it adds a lot, but I think that it can get, some of it's gotten out of hand. So
Right.
maybe it's my age saying that.
No, maybe. But all the shows I've been to, the cosplayers seem to be well managed and not out of control.
Right.
And some of them, and they're good for our show too, because we can record them and have them say, "Hey, welcome to Rick and Dave's show." But I can see what you're saying. I believe the tipping point too, even with the movies and stuff. There has to come a time when people get tired of watching these superhero movies. And to be honest, I can't wait, because then the prices will come down and people up on the outside will stop bugging us and leave us alone finally.
Right. Yeah. It is. There is a tipping point coming. I can almost feel it sometimes. You know.
That they're comic book shows. We went up to one of your shows up in Cleveland a few years ago. Dave got a good deal on an old Spider-Man book while he was up there. I got some good prices too, because they were just a pure comic book show, and that's what I like about your shows. The Akron Canton show is June 25th this year, and make sure you make it out there. And where is that located at?
It's the Chaparral's Community Center. It's on Arlington Road. I can't think of the exact address right this minute, but it's on South Arlington Road, and it's off of I-77, just north of the Arlington Road exit. Okay. It's Chaparral's Community Center, and it's kind of a neat place too, because they've got TVs set up all around the room, and during the course of the show, I am showing the movies and different things, and then we will have a cosplay contest at 2:00, hosted by Heroic Adventures.
Welcome to Rick and Dave's Comic Book Hour.
Right.
out of
So after we got done complaining about cosplayers, we're going to have contests now.
That's the only show that I do a cosplay contest at. My website is harpercomics.com, www.harpercomics.com, and but on Facebook it's also Harper Comics.
All his cons are there, and he also has printable directions.
I have a link to MapQuest for all the shows,
Yeah.
and I try to make it simple. It's not real fancy, but it's
Yeah.
so. What's the next show I've got is the Buckeye Comic Con in Columbus on July 16th.
That show is on July 16th.
Yeah.
And the time, what time is that open?
Well, all my shows are from 10 to 4. And every one of them we do hourly drawings. We give away free things every hour. And the Columbus show I do 3 times a year. And it's been successful doing it 3 times a year because there's really no other real comic book show in Columbus anymore.
Except for
Well, there's Wizard,
Wizard.
but I've gotten a number of people that complain again because there's only like 2 or 3 or 4 comic book dealers there, and that's all that are at my show is comic
Dealers.
or
That's right.
comic
We
book
talked
dealers.
about that with the Akron Canton show as well.
Yeah, and now I do have some guests at the Buckeye show. Michael Nino will be there. Who he's a kind of a old school type artist. He does a lot of the old type. I want to say, I don't know how else to say it other than the 50s and 40s and 50s type artwork.
So, Golden Age art.
Simulate just about any of the old artists that you can imagine. Like he does, he does a Jack Kirby style artwork. He'll do some of the Archie type stuff. He can mimic just about all of those old styles. Well, Adam Fields, another Ohio guy who puts out a comic called Prowl. First issue of Prowl has come out. I think number 2 will be out at the Akron Canton show. So
Okay.
he's a local artist. He writes it, he publishes, self-publishes, and everything. And then there's 3 other guests going to be there. And
So your next show after the Buckeye Comic Con, then you have the Cleveland Comics Cards and Nostalgia Show on October 8th.
yes,
And that one's up in Cleveland.
yeah, that used to be called Saturday's Child. Okay, and it, to the best of my knowledge, and I don't want anybody to sue me when I say this, but I think it's the longest running comic book show in the United States. It's been run continuously every year for 36 years now. And I took it over about 11 or 12 years ago from the original. Well, they were actually the second promoters of it. A local fella by the name of Nelson Dodds, who I'm sure you guys are familiar with. He's been a dealer and into the comic book industry in Ohio for as long as I can remember. He started it, and 2 fellas took it over, and then when one of them, Joe Tricarci, passed away, I took it over from them and been running it. And it's really, to me, it's a unique show because unlike any other show I've been to, it's primarily Golden and Silver Age. There are some new comics there, and you'll find some toys, but most of the dealers are primarily Golden and Silver Age dealers, stuff from the 40s and 50s and 60s and the 70s, and you don't see too many shows like that anymore. So,
It's a good show.
Yeah,
It sounds like a good show. I mean, I haven't been to one of those, but now that I've heard that, I might have changed my mind.
yeah, yeah. There's some dealers that come that specialize in the old stuff. Like John Keener out of Cleveland, Nelson Dodds that I just mentioned. He set up at the last one. Mark Rochelle comes in from Detroit. Bob Berkheimer, he's out of Lorraine, I believe, or North Ridgeville. He comes in. Jeff Patrick out of Columbus, World's Greatest Comics. These are all, they deal in the old stuff. Not a whole lot of new books,
Right.
which makes it really kind of different. So,
Yeah.
John Haynes, he's up in the Mentor area. He's got a Comics and Friends. Comics and Friends up in Mentor area. He comes in too, and he's again primarily a Golden and Silver Age dealer. So, if you're looking for old stuff, that's definitely the show to come to.
All right.
So,
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
We might have to edit that part out.
Why?
So no one knows about it. So I can go up there and get my swell stuff and not nobody else.
All right, I get the joke now. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And is that show well attended too as well?
Yes, very well attended.
Is the price admission the same for all your shows?
No.
How much is it for Akron Canton?
Akron Canton is $5.
Okay, what about Buckeye?
It's $4, and
Okay.
Cleveland is $4. All of them are $4 except for
for-
Akron Canton, and
Okay.
it's $5.
Okay.
And that's, you can't beat that with a stick, as they say.
No, that's right. And that just leaves more money in your pocket to buy the old books. And so, sounds like you've got some good shows here.
Yeah.
And you actually have 4 shows in Columbus. You had one earlier this year.
I have 3 there.
3 in Columbus. I'm sorry.
That's right.
You have 3 shows in Columbus.
I usually do a March.
Right, you had one in March.
I usually do a March show, a summer show in July, first part of August, and then the last show is usually in November. It's usually the weekend before Thanksgiving, which is, I think, the 20th this year.
Yeah.
I think it's November 20th, or 19th.
19th.
November 19th.
November
I'm
19th.
checking his notes, so
Yeah.
we got it right.
Yeah, I wrote some
Yeah.
stuff down. Sorry.
Yeah.
I had to do some homework before I came here. So
Yeah.
I act like I know what I was doing.
Yeah.
It's not working, but hey, I tried. Well, you've seen a lot of things come and go. And,
Oh, absolutely.
And you've seen the hobby go up and down and up and down throughout
Yep.
the years.
I live-
like us. I mean, we've been collecting comics for a long time, so
Yeah.
we've seen. We've heard the same old thing about comics dying for the last 40 years. They're dying. They're not going to
Yeah.
be around much longer. It's almost 100 years later, and they're still going strong. So.
Exactly. Yeah, the 90s, when I started, that was kind of on the upswing of the big tidal wave of the 90s, when, there was a glut of comics out there.
I remember that, yeah.
And then the 2000s were pretty slim, late 90s into the 2000s, it got a little slim.
After the crash.
After the crash, but then after, right about about 2008, when the actual financial crash took place, was when the movies started getting good, and that's kind of elevated the hobby again.
So, what's the most unusual thing that's happened at a show?
There's been some unusual things happen.
Okay.
Dave's getting ready for this. Years ago, I did a show down near Wheeling, West Virginia. It was when I first started doing this 26 years ago, and we had a fight break out between a vendor and an attendee, and that was an ugly situation. That was a unique
Oh man,
thing.
I bet it was.
And at the same time down there, I don't know if Jeff Patrick will ever watch this from World's Greatest Comics, but one time I held the show at an American Legion Hall, and a week before the show was to be held, the American Legion Hall got busted for illegal gambling, and they shut the place down. And I had done all my advertising, and I had done all the mailings, and I had all this dealer space sold, and people were coming. So I had to find a place to hold the show with just 1 week to go. And all the hotels in the area, their spaces were all booked. But the one hotel, their bar was closed on Sundays. So they offered, for a small fee, they told me I could hold the show in the bar.
Okay.
And so they moved the booths out, and we held the show in the bar, and people were literally set up with tables in front of the bar itself and all around the restaurant part, and it was the most unique situation I've ever.
Was it pretty crowded in there today?
Yeah, it was pretty crowded. Some of the dealers didn't get as many tables as they wanted because space was limited,
Right.
and I had people in the hall. It was it was fun. Back when I used to fly guests into the Akron Canton, that was kind of cool. It's very stressful, and some of them are very demanding, and
So tell us about can you tell us, not mention name, but what kind of demands would they have? You don't have to mention names, but you say very demanding.
Well-
I'm kind of interested, how demanding can an artist be?
Well, some
or writers.
I hate to say this, and maybe some artists watch this, but they probably know that some of them consider themselves prima donnas. That they are better than all the rest of us. We're just the fanboys, And
I get that from Dave all the time.
yeah, and I've had several. Some of them charge a lot of money to come in and sign. Then I've had some that this was before I think it is now, where you would invite somebody in and you'd pay for their airfare and their meal, and you'd put them up for a hotel, and if they wanted a small fee, you might pay that. But there was nothing spoken or written down that I wasn't going to pay for this and I wasn't going to pay for that. And I've had some of them leave the hotel and have hundreds of dollars of phone bills.
Ooh.
Okay, let's set this straight. This was before there was cell phone.
Yeah. Okay.
So they would charge phone calls and movie rentals and all of these things to the hotel room, and then I get stuck with the bill.
Movie rentals. I don't know what kind of movie rentals those were.
Yes, exactly. So
So did the other one want like just green M&Ms and that kind of deal?
no, it never got like that. But those are the kind of things that turned me off into inviting big name guests in, because of these kind of things that are unexpected. Some of them were great. I gotta admit. That some of them were absolutely fantastic. Lee Weeks was at one of my shows years ago, and he was the nicest gentleman and didn't charge a fee or anything to come in. And I was, I had to pay for his airfare and his meals and hotel, but that was it. And I thought that was. Now I don't know if he does that now. That was 20 years ago.
Right.
But that's kind of what. It turned me off to it, that having to treat them like royalty.
What books do you collect now?
I'm a big Superman fan. I spend a lot of money on newer books, but Superman, I think I've got every issue or appearance of Superman going back to about 59.
Really?
Yeah, the year I was born. So, and that includes, World's Finest, Action, Superman, Lois Lane, Jimmy Olsen, all the Superman titles. That was kind of my goal, because as you get older than 1959, this stuff gets really, really expensive. I'm a big Greg Rucka fan, a writer. I don't like his political beliefs, but I like his writing.
New stuff. What's the one you got to read?
Superman usually. Right now, I think Superman in Action is really good.
So what do you think of the Rebirth then? Do you think the Rebirth worked?
Yes, I think it did. I think it did. And maybe you don't agree with me again.
No, I do. I mean, I didn't
think-
mind the new 52, but the Rebirth, I wanted to get back to the original number for some of these things too. I wanted to see Action 1000.
Yeah.
I wanted to see that 999, and then boom, here we are. Here's the millennial.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
I don't know if I'll live long enough to see a Marvel 1000. I mean, I hope so, but you never know.
You keep renumbering everything every 6 issues.
Never
Well,
think
they
I
just
get there.
announced that they're going to start with the original numbering system again after the Secret Empire. Have
Yeah.
you read that? They're
Not
gonna
going-
go back. They're gonna.
They screwed up Captain America. I ain't reading any of that crap.
Well, see, I am.
All right.
So
Okay. Well, then you can tell me if it's any good. Then.
I think it's interesting. I think they're drawing it out a little bit too much, but I think it's interesting how in his mind his history is different than what it really was, because of the cosmic cube.
Well, I don't mind those things. They're going to bounce back.
Yeah.
I mean, just like people didn't like Superior Spider-Man, it's like, it's going to be over. Just enjoy the ride. I mean,
Yeah.
I enjoyed that whole Doc Ock thing. I mean, I knew eventually Peter Parker was going to come back. I mean, so
Yeah.
I was willing to wait and enjoy Superior Spider-Man.
Do you like Peter Parker being a wealthy businessman?
It's taking time to get used to when you're my age and you're used to him being a photog and just barely getting by and barely getting able to pay
Yeah.
Aunt May's bills, and all of a sudden here he is. He's a multi-billionaire, and so is Aunt May now because she's part of the owner. But
See,
then I
I-
keep waiting for that. But then I keep waiting for the going out of business sale too, because this is Peter Parker. This is Peter Parker, so it's going to have to
Yeah.
collapse.
See, I quit reading Spider-Man because I thought we have enough wealthy vigilante superheroes.
Right.
We have Oliver Queen, we have Batman, we have Moon Knight, we've got Danny Rand, we've got Tony Stark. How many multi-millionaire
yeah,
superhero
Spider-Man's bound to crash sooner or later.
you would hope?
But if you like him, being poor or whatever, not being a millionaire, you should check out the Making Spider-Man Renew Your Vows, the one where he has a family and stuff. He's
Okay.
actually married to Mary Jane, and they have like a little daughter, and they're all fight crime together.
Okay.
It's kind of fun to read. It's written by
Sherry Conway.
Gary Conway.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's-
Old school guy.
I know you don't collect many old comics, but what is your oldest comic you own? If you
Oh,
can
it's
say that.
probably Superman issue 44. I think that's my oldest comic book. I mean, I have a lot of key issues. Like I have complete runs of Thor, including Journey into Mystery 83. But I bought that
Yeah.
before there was a movie called Thor. And then I got, Strange Tales 135. I've had that since I was a kid, the first appearance of Nick Fury. Strange Tales 110. That's a good story. Can I tell a story, Dave? Mm-hmm. Okay. When I was a kid, there was a flea market near our house, and my mom would take me there it was on a Tuesday, and I would take money I'd made from cutting grass, and I'd buy comic books at the flea market from the different vendors. And I went there this one time, and a guy had a whole shopping bag, a paper shopping bag full of comics. And I started going through them, pulling them out what I wanted. And he said, would you want the whole bag? And this was in probably 72 or 73. And I said, well, yeah, but I can't afford it. He says, I'll give it to you, the whole bag for $5. And that's all the money I had, was $5. And I went home with a bag of Strange Tales. It was all Strange Tales, Tales to Astonish, Tales of Suspense, a whole bag full. Wow. And that's how I got hooked. Because there was nearly a full run of Nick Fury in there, from Strange Tales 135 till, he got his own title. And that's how I got hooked on Nick Fury. So, first appearance of Doctor Strange, Strange Tales 110, I think. And I know everybody out there may be an Iron Fist fan right now because of the TV show, but I was always a Shang-Chi fan because he was the son of Fu Manchu. And I thought, how cool was that? I've got everything Shang-Chi, I think. I try to be a completist on certain titles. I'd like to be a completist on Superman, but I think I know that I'll never own Action, number one. I am looking for something. I just found the other day that I would like to start collecting. There's a secret agent title, Sarge Steele, Secret Agent from the 60s from Charlton. Okay. And I'd like to, I'm looking for those out there. So if anybody's got any, go to my Facebook site. So
I guess one more question: is there any big plans coming down the road, or are you just gonna?
Yeah.
I guess that's a big plan.
I'm planning for that someday. No, I'm going to continue doing, I think, what I'm doing right now. It's manageable for my wife and I. We have grandkids. My life is a lot different than it was 20 years ago when I started doing this. And I've got a lot different responsibilities and things. And I'm going to continue as long as I can continue on with the one-day shows, making them affordable for the real comic book fan, the guy that's coming to look. He's missing that issue of Spider-Man number 198 or whatever case it may be. Right. And he doesn't want to have to pay shipping and then get it off of eBay and see the condition isn't what it was supposed to be. He can literally go look at it, buy it, and take it home.
Exactly.
That's
what your shows are about.
That's it.
Well, Jeff, thanks for taking time out to do an interview with us.
This was a terrific opportunity.
We enjoyed your stories. That was awesome. Well, thanks a lot, Jeff. And I'll see you at the Akron Canton show.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good day.
All right, I'm Rogue, and this is Storm from X-Men. Watch Rick and Dave's Comic Book Hour, or else you'll get this.